The design of the vehicle, obviously the proportions of this vehicle is very extreme in terms of, when you think about it's a four-door car, and you look at four-door cars today that are about 100,000 euro, I don't think you will find any that's this extreme. You almost have to go up and look at maybe an Aston Martin Rapide or something like that to get this type of design. And this was really on purpose because we felt as a new car company we have to go out and do something that's beyond what people expect in terms of excitement. We have to draw people in with the excitement of design, and then the added bonus is obviously all the environmental features. But also, when you look at the design, everything has a purpose in this car, so it's not just styling. And when I, for instance, start with, there's many cars today that has air outlets here, like we have this. This is actually a functional air outlet because we have the exhaust pipe coming out here. So the engineer said we need an air outlet here for hot air to come out when the exhaust gets hot. We also have several features on the car which is showing on the exterior the environmental aspect of the vehicle, like the solar roof, for instance. So we really did an extra effort to design the solar roof so it looks good, but it's also that you draw the attention to it because it's obviously an environmental friendly feature on the vehicle. The 22-inch wheels, when you look at the steering components, you can actually see underneath here that we actually needed this size of wheel, also for the large brakes, etc. And we also wanted this size of wheel for the overall proportion of the vehicle. But to get a 22-inch wheel and have a comfortable driving, we needed different type of tires than was available anywhere in the world. So Goodyear decided special F1 tires, which are higher profile that you normally get on a 22-inch wheel. So these are 35 profiles, and you can actually see that they're pretty big, the tires. They're unique for this vehicle. If we walk around in the rear of the vehicle, everything on the car, all the lights are LED. So we are probably the first car in the world where even the reverse lamps and the fog lamps are LED. Now when Barney puts it on, you will be able to see that strip underneath is LED lights when it's put in reverse, as you can see here. And beside is the fog lamps. So even that is LED. The reason we use LED is not only for the looks, but it's because it uses less electricity. So that's an important part, obviously being an electric car. The two chrome diamonds that you see on each side is where the noise comes out. You can hear a little bit the noise now, and that's for pedestrian safety. So of course this is a new feature, and there's a lot of discussion about how much noise, how should it sound like. It's probably a big development that's going to happen over the next years, and I could imagine, just like today tuners are offering sport exhaust, I'm sure tuners will offer different noises in the future, and we might be able to even put it up and down and choose different ones. At this point in time we are starting out with a fairly subdued noise, but the noise actually increases when you accelerate the car. And that means when you stand far away, you can hear the car come towards you, and you can hear, if the speed increases, you can also hear the noise increases. And this is important because if you are blind people, for instance, they can't see a car, and they need to hear something is coming. We didn't want to make it sound like a normal engine because that would kind of make it feel like it has some sort of old technology in it, so it is on purposely more of a futuristic noise to it, and it's kind of a combination of the electric motor and also a little bit like a jet engine will sound, and that emphasizes when you drive faster. It goes up to about 35 or 30 miles an hour, about 50 kilometers an hour, and after that it shuts off because we don't want to create noise pollution, obviously. If you go around this side, each side, on this side you have the gas. Normally you fill in gas, on the other side you fill in the, or you plug in the plug for the electric when you charge it at night. And here in Europe the charging time is about 5.5 hours overnight charging, and you can plug it into a normal plug just like you plug in your cell phone at home. You will also notice on the vehicle, like I said before, everything has a purpose, but also all lines. If you stand here on the side and you look at how all the lines here comes together, there's no sort of lines that are just arbitrarily thrown on the car, and that for me is a very important part of creating a timeless design that you can look at again and again and again, and that stays fresh. You know, also the sculpture of the car is very dramatic. This type of sculpture, this type of volume is something you normally only find in a supercar. You don't really find this on normal four-door sedans. And I really want to bring that into this type of vehicle, which I think is the first. Also, aerodynamics was very important for this car in terms of when you drive in electric, it's very quiet, so you don't want to have a lot of wind noise. So mirrors here, the sharp wing on the mirrors, the flushness of the glass, you feel there's very little overlap on the glass here. Everything is very flush. This is all done to get as quiet a car as possible. Because we have the exhaust pipes underneath, the whole floor of the car is flat, so it's very good for aerodynamics, which is something you normally only get like on a mid-engine Ferrari, where they of course have the exhaust coming out in the very rear, but they don't have it running down through the car. When we go to the front of the car, and by the way, also the reason for the recessed door handles, which are electric, is again aerodynamics, so they don't stick out of the car, so they don't create any turbulence. In the front of the car, again, what's very important here is the functionality. So we have LEDs in here. The ribs you see here in the lights actually have a purpose. When you have fog, these ribs here actually make sure that the light doesn't give reflection up into the fog and create a white wall in front of you. So there's a reason for these ribs inside the light. Here, when you look down and you go down and you look in, you can actually see the radiators in here. So they actually also very functional. These two holes. Many cars today, they have them just for good looks, and they're even closed. But actually here we have two radiators sitting in here behind, cooling radiators. So again, it's a functional part of the vehicle. Inside the vehicle, we obviously have, again, the whole theme of simplicity, timelessness. So when you look at the interior, it's very simple, very clean. We didn't want a car that would take you ages to figure out how to drive. You can jump in this car, you press drive, and you go. I mean, you start it, you press drive, and you go. Everything is controlled by a big haptic control screen. And it's very simple, it's very easy, it's like a website almost, it's like a big iPad. And that's important for us because we can upgrade that every 2 years. Also on the inside, the environmental aspect is important. So we have the reclaimed wood, either from the California fires or from bottom of Lake Michigan. We think this is just a smart thing to do. I'm surprised nobody has thought about it so far. And again, it's something where we don't cut down any trees. And I think it just goes on that the Fisker brand is more than just the powertrain and the styling. It's really about that we want to be the most environmental friendly car brand in the world, but still making exciting, powerful cars. You can also order this interior as a complete animal-free interior, meaning no leather at all. So if you want to go all the way, you can do that. And that's called Eco Chic. I'll have Barney now explain a little bit about the powertrain and the layout of the vehicle.
Great, thanks Henrik. One thing I want to point out, it is beautiful to see it right now actually, the exterior paint